Hello, right, so comments. I've got comments coming out of my ears. There's so many comments you've sent in, which is great, and I'm going to try and answer some of them. So, on the Jeremy Corbyn interview that I did, Mark L. He needs to smarten up his personal image. He looks scruffy here and not like a leader and potential PM at all. Well, Mark, to be fair on Jeremy, I did catch him on his morning run around Finsbury Park. He's very, very fit for a man in his mid-60s. But I don't think he realised it was a video interview, so he wasn't really dressed for the occasion. So actually, we had to nick the jumper off his son. So it was all a bit improv. I know there's been some people titillated about the fact his legs were showing, but actually the thing is about Jeremy, in all seriousness, that I think people do like about him is he's not like spun and polished. You know, there's no shortage of kind of professionalised politicians in suits who all speak in a certain kind of way, but I think people just don't like it anymore, and they see it as an identikit politician. I mean, if you look at Nigel Farage, a man I think we've established I don't agree with very much, but he's tapped into that a bit, that kind of people a bit weary about politicians who all sound the same and look the same. I think Jeremy is just, you know, he comes across as he is. He says what he means what he says, and he doesn't generally wear Armani suits as far as I know. Masturbates 88, very crude. Masturbate says, what a pair of cappuccino socialists. Well, masturbates, actually that is an outrageous smear against my good person because in actual fact I was drinking a cup of tea and it was Builder's tea, thank you very much. And in fact my proudest achievement, personal achievement last year was going from 2 sugars to no sugar. Not a very interesting anecdote, but did answer your question. Rachel Robinson, hello. I don't think that Jeremy Corbyn is as hard left as many media outlets would have some of us believe. And so for some, the Overton window remains shifted to the right. Well, for those who don't know what the Overton window is, all it means is everything within the window is seen as mainstream, common sense. That's just the way the world is. Everything outside the window is seen as extreme, fringe, deluded. And that Overton window can shift as, you know, ideas which are once seen as wacky and extreme become common sense, and vice versa. So it's very straightforward. But I agree with you. You know, I think actually a lot of what Jeremy Corbyn's saying is pretty common sense. And the problem with the media in this country is the media are run largely by a small group of very wealthy media moguls who are part of a status quo they want to defend. And journalists often come from a very select group in society, and often, you know, kind of agree with each other on lots of policies and ideas and ways of looking at the world, privatisation, so-called free markets, low taxes on the rich. But I don't think that's necessarily in sync with what a lot of other people think. So for the media, they decide what's seen as politically acceptable and mainstream. But actually, I think there's often a difference between what the media think and what the public think. Liam McGoldrick. Hi, Liam. Owen, if you were Prime Minister, what 3 things would you do, be them laws or policies? Basically, what 3 things do you think needs to happen to help fix broken Britain? Well, Liam, perish the thought of me being Prime Minister, honestly. But I suppose the 3 big issues that I would look at today as being kind of major problems, I guess, are jobs, wages, housing. And a lot of the other ills we have in society spring from those problems. So with jobs, instead of relying often on low-skilled, insecure jobs, often very low paid and all the rest of it, what I would do is have an industrial strategy backed up by public investment banks, learning from other countries, where instead of letting the market decide which industries you have and letting industries go to the wall, I'd focus, for example, on you know, an industrial strategy to support renewable energies industries to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, but also take on the environmental crisis. As well as having a genuine living wage, I'd also want trade unions to have proper rights, so they'd be able to actually secure for working people a slice of the wealth that they create, because I think working people are the wealth creators who keep the country ticking, and that means we'd spend less money on in-work benefits, but also people would be less personally indebted as well. And for housing, what I would do is have a big house building programme, giving councils the power to build housing again, creating jobs, stimulating the economy, getting the councils a stream of rent coming in, and reducing the amount we spend on housing benefit, which often lines the pockets of private landlords. So we'd start there, but, you know, I think there's a lot of problems in modern Britain, and where would you end? But it's not about people like me becoming Prime Minister. It's about all of us organising together. Person, I'm going to interview some other people who definitely don't agree with me. Owen Jones. I think, person, what you're suggesting there, and maybe I'm a cynical man, is that you don't believe me when I promise to do that. Well, how wrong you are. Because I am going to interview Peter Hitchens, which I'm very excited to do. So, you know, watch this space. And there'll be another very special guest who I definitely don't agree with either. No. Thanks for all those comments. Cracking stuff as ever. Keep the debate going. Please subscribe to the channel. Spread the word. And I will see you next time.